Award season. It's always a fascinating spectacle. Critics argue, fans debate, and somewhere in Hollywood, a room full of people decide which films get to go home with a shiny golden statue. Sometimes they nail it, other times they leave audiences staring at the screen like, wait, that movie didn't win anything? Thrillers in particular often get the short end of the Oscar stick. They're gripping, stylish, and wildly entertaining. But because they involve murder investigations, conspiracies, and characters having emotional breakdowns in dimly lit rooms, the Academy sometimes forget they exist. But every now and then, a thriller comes along that's so sharp, so well crafted, and so influential that it absolutely feels like an Oscar movie, even if the Academy didn't quite see it that way. So today, we're counting down top 10 thrillers that deserved Oscars but didn't win. Films that had the tension, performances, and filmmaking brilliance worthy of awards night but somehow walked away empty-handed. Let's dive in. If you want a thriller that slowly tightens the emotional screws until you're practically chewing on the armrest, Prisoners is that movie. Directed by Denis Villeneuve, the film follows two families whose daughters go missing, sending a desperate father, played by Hugh Jackman, down a morally questionable path in search of answers. Jackman's performance alone feels like it should have earned at least a nomination. His character descends into obsession and rage, and the movie asks the uncomfortable question, how far would you go to save your child? Meanwhile, Jake Gyllenhaal delivers a brilliantly subtle performance as the detective trying to hold the investigation together while everything spirals out of control. Despite its intense storytelling and stunning cinematography by Roger Deakins, the film only received a single Oscar nomination for cinematography. No acting nods, no Best Picture consideration, which is wild because Prisoners remains one of the most haunting thrillers of the 2010s. Leave it to David Fincher to take a marriage drama and turn it into a psychological war zone. Based on the novel by Gillian Flynn, Gone Girl tells the story of a husband, played by Ben Affleck, who becomes the prime suspect when his wife mysteriously disappears. What follows is a twisty, darkly funny thriller about media manipulation, toxic relationships, and terrifying power of public perception. The real MVP here is Rosamund Pike as Amy Dunn. Her performance is chilling, magnetic, and so perfectly controlled that you can't look away even when she's doing something completely unhinged. She did receive an Oscar nomination, but somehow didn't win, which feels like the Academy politely saying, fantastic performance, but we're also slightly afraid of you. If Patience were a thriller, it would look like Zodiac. Once again directed by David Fincher, the film chronicles the real-life investigation into the infamous Zodiac killer that haunted California in the late 1960s and 70s. Instead of turning the story into a flashy serial killer movie, Fincher goes the opposite direction. The film is methodical, meticulous, and deeply unsettling because of how real everything feels. You're not watching heroes catch a villain, you're watching investigators slowly drown in obsession. With incredible performances from Jake Gyllenhaal, Robert Downey Jr., and Mark Ruffalo, it's baffling that the movie received 0 Oscar nominations. None. Not even a technical nod. Somewhere the Academy clearly missed the memo on this one. Imagine if ambition and moral bankruptcy had a baby, and that baby started filming crime scenes for the evening news. That's basically Nightcrawler. The film follows Lou Bloom, played with eerie brilliance by Jake Gyllenhaal, a man who discovers he can make money filming grisly accidents and crimes for TV stations. Gyllenhaal's performance is mesmerizing and deeply unsettling. Lou is charming, polite, and completely sociopathic, all at the same time. It's the kind of role actors dream about, and the kind of performance that usually screams, Oscar nomination! And yet, somehow the Academy overlooked him entirely, which is ironic, because the movie is literally about how the media rewards the worst behavior possible. What's in the box? That line alone cemented Seven as one of the most iconic thrillers ever made. Directed by David Fincher, the film follows two detectives played by Brad Pitt and Morgan Freeman, tracking a serial killer who bases his murders on the 7 deadly sins. The movie is dark, grimy, and relentlessly tense. It doesn't hold your hand, and it definitely doesn't give you a comforting ending. Despite its enormous influence and unforgettable atmosphere, Seven only received one Oscar nomination for editing. And it didn't win, which feels like bringing a masterpiece to an art show and the judges going, "Nice brushstrokes." Imagine assembling Al Pacino and Robert De Niro, two of the greatest actors alive, into a crime thriller directed by Michael Mann. Surely the Academy would notice that, right? Apparently not. Heat is a masterclass in tension and character-driven storytelling. The film follows a meticulous professional thief and the obsessive detective hunting him, building toward one of the most iconic coffee shop conversations in movie history. And don't even get started on the downtown Los Angeles bank heist scene, which remains one of the most realistic action sequences ever filmed. Yet, somehow, the film received 0 Oscar noms. Yes, 0. Okay, technically, this one did win Oscars, but not nearly enough. Directed by Bryan Singer, The Usual Suspects follows a group of criminals whose stories gradually reveal the legend of a mysterious crime lord named Kaiser Soze. The film won Oscars for Best Supporting Actor for Kevin Spacey and Best Original Screenplay for Christopher McQuarrie, but no Best Picture nomination, no directing nod. That feels like the Academy watching one of the greatest twist endings ever and saying, "Cool trick." Anyway, when Martin Scorsese makes a psychological thriller starring Leonardo DiCaprio, you'd assume awards would follow. Instead, Shutter Island received 0 Oscar nominations. The film follows a U.S. Marshal investigating a disappearance at a mysterious mental institution on a remote island. As the investigation unfolds, reality itself begins to unravel. Scorsese blends noir, horror, and psychological drama into a haunting experience that sticks with you long after the credits roll. But apparently, the Academy looked at it and said, "Too creepy. Pass." This one still hurts. Christopher Nolan's The Dark Knight changed the superhero genre forever. It's part crime thriller, part character study, and part philosophical exploration of chaos and morality. Of course, the standout performance is Heath Ledger as the Joker, who won a posthumous Oscar for Best Supporting Actor. But the real shock was that the film wasn't nominated for Best Picture. The backlash was so loud that the Academy literally changed its rules the following year to allow more Best Picture nominees. So, technically, this movie was so good, it forced the Oscars to evolve. If thrillers were judged purely on originality, this one would already have a shelf full of Oscars. Directed by David Lynch, Moholland Drive is a surreal, dreamlike mystery set in Hollywood. It follows an aspiring actress and a woman suffering from amnesia as their lives become entangled in a puzzle that may or may not exist entirely in someone's mind. The film earned Lynch a nomination for Best Director, but was otherwise largely ignored by the Academy. Today, however, critics regularly rank Moholland Drive among the greatest films ever made, which means the Oscars eventually caught up about 20 years later. Better late than never, I guess. Thrillers have always had a complicated relationship with the Oscars. They're intense, they're dark, they make audiences uncomfortable, and sometimes they're just too entertaining to be taken seriously by award voters. But the truth is, some of the most influential and brilliantly crafted films ever made fall squarely into the thriller genre. And even without a golden statue, these movies still won something far more important: lasting impact. Thank you so much for staying to the end of the video. If you like what you saw, please do like and share this video. Also, don't forget to subscribe. Till the next one, take good care.